Well, hey, everybody. I am so excited you are here for today's. This is, oh, wow. Siwa. Hello, that is a hard name to start things off. I do hope we're going to be interactive tonight, though. So thanks for kicking it. This is Write a Book That Gets Clients Begging to. I have been dying to run this training. I'm so excited to see so many of you there. Christopher, Kat, Judy, Ben. I'm really excited for all here. A couple months ago, I wrote a book called Make 'em Beg to Publish Your Book. And this is really the flip side of that, which is make 'em beg with you. We're going to be talking tonight exactly about what you need to do to write a book that gets clients absolutely begging to work with you. As hope you know, I am Dr. Angela Loria, the Author Incubator, and I'm going to share with you the 3 secrets to writing a book that gets clients to work with you. I'm going to give you at least an hour of training. And at the end, I'm going to share with you a special opportunity incubated with us. That's going to come later. I know you guys may have questions about that. Hang in there. We'll talk about that at the end. But what I really focus on is what the difference is between books that generate clients and books that are just a way to share with how things work. It's like you guys are having some really appreciate you sharing. And hang on, we're just gonna check now if we can get that reset. Are totally plugged in and rocking and rolling. Did you want me to keep going? Is it better? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys are here. The audio is cutting in and out. All right, hang in there, Melanie and Laura and Karen, and just hang in there. We're going to get you sorted. We're going to get me sorted. You guys, thank you so much. We are working on fixing this. I am on a hard line. Attuneated. I don't even really know that word. Reconnected twice, but it didn't help. All right, hang in there, guys. We're working on it. Thank you, Shelly, Victoria. We are going to, where Edna still says, are you still in Scotland? Yes, but I am hard lined in. The audio is echoing. Oh, Melanie says it's getting better. Judy's out. Better the last few sentences, better now. All right, everyone use the reconnect at the bottom. Look at Elia. Thank you, guys. It worked for me. Nikki, hello, darling. If you are the Nikki I know and love. Mwah. Reconnected and it worked. Drawn out. Is there anything else using your bandwidth? Nope. All the bandwidth turned off and I am hard lined in. So it sounds like we are now rocking and rolling. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for your patience. And hopefully this will, Tara, try reconnecting. Mwah. Better for me after reconnecting. Yeah, maybe you guys need to reconnect. It sounds like there might be a button at the bottom for that. Elia said reconnecting worked for her, just pressing the reconnect button at the bottom. All right, so we're going to get rocking and rolling. Sorry for that little technical pause in the action. But I am going to share with you guys an opportunity to get incubated at the end. But what I want to focus on is what you're going to learn during the training. And that is the 3 secrets to writing a book that gets clients begging to work with you. really get these. It's just 3 secrets, but they are pretty detailed and they're very advanced. And so what I want you to do is turn off all your distractions other than the distraction of my bad sound and give yourself the gift of really getting these secrets. I promise once you get this, it absolutely changes everything. But a lot of people think they understand them and they haven't really gotten it. So if you're multitasking with some of the sound issues that you're experiencing, you are not going to be able to understand and absorb these secrets. So turn off your distractions and we are going to get down to business. For those of you who do not know me, and I see a lot of authors out there, but for those of you who don't know me, I am the founder of the Incubator and creator. You want me to keep going? Because I feel like we're having problems, having trouble reading you. Saying, okay, guys, I'm going to keep going. I know a lot of you are saying sound, but we are getting sorted. And luckily, for those of you who can hear me, you can read the screen. But I am the founder of the Author Incubator and creator of the Author's Way, which is a program on the difference process. And I'm going to talk to you about the difference today. I'm an editor since 1994, and I have over 250 Amazon best-selling authors a year. We'll talk a little bit more about that soon. And I book coach that most interestingly publishes their success rate. So there's no other book coach out there I know that publishes success. 99% of people who have ever signed to write a book with me since I started the Author Incubator that fit their books. 99. And what I interesting is that when I was kind of freelance book coaching in a different way other than following the process. You guys, I had 256 clients and one of them finished book. Shout out to Jill Farmer if she is around. And so is the different process that I'm going to teach you tonight to get your book finished. I am also a Martha Beck, and I use life coaching in the book coaching. I have 3 degrees in various aspects of communication. So I have a journalism underdegree, bachelor's degree from the George Washington University. I have a master's degree in media studies, also from GW. And then I did my PhD through a school in Europe that my program doesn't exist anymore, but it was a communication degree from the European Graduate School. And that was based in Switzerland. And then I have 3 Amazon bestsellers in my incubated author series, The Difference, 10 Steps to Write a Book That Matters, The Incubated Author, and also Make 'em Beg to Publish Your Book. So just to give you a sense of where I come from. But the most important part of my story and why particular method I teach you guys came to be, the difference process, how I learned writing a book that gets clients begging to work with you, is that first and foremost, I am a reader. So I was significantly overweight for a lot of my life and read hundreds of weight books, read hundreds of relationship books. I've read a bunch of books on how to get pregnant with a new baby. I've read books about domestic violence. I've read lots of business books. And so I look at all of the books that we work on through the lens of the reader. And this is something that I think most editors are looking at your book in terms of, is it well written? And I call this the English teacher in the sky phenomenon. But I don't think that your job is to write a book that would get you an A in English class. I think your real job is to serve your readers. And most of your readers don't even know you exist because instead of writing for your readers, you're writing to get an A in English class. And so I approach everything and everything we're going to talk about tonight as a reader. What would a reader do? And this is the story of my weight loss journey with books. I read over 500 weight loss books. I've read over 5,000 self-help books. Trying to lose weight, I did psychoanalysis 3 times a week for 3 years. It was at 6:30 in the morning, about an hour from my house. I did A Course in Miracles multiple times. I did Landmark Forum. I was actually teaching catechism to 8th graders. I tried Pathway for you name it. Then I went the traditional method, worked with an endocrinologist and many other doctors. Their addictions and things like that. So I tried everything. Sometimes I actually did 70 to 110 pounds 4 different times, but I gained it back. And I would gain it back almost immediately. In fact, what happened, it would take me like a year to lose 100 pounds. Um, and it would take me like a year to lose 100 pounds, and then it would take me like 3 months to gain it back. And then I found this book. And the book is Why Can't I Lose Weight by Brooke Castillo. And this was a book that is really what I call a difference process book. It's a book designed to make a difference. And so I want audio.
Hey guys, this is the producer. Just letting you know that we are bringing the audio back in 1 second. We're just resetting Angela's connection. Please give us a second and we'll be right back with you.
Totally.
All right. I like Pamela's comment. Scottish castles do that. Thick walls, thick walls. Exactly, Pam. Is there a dial-in telephone option? Lillian, it's not you, it's me, mama. We're trying to make it work. You guys, Katrina says now she hears nothing. Let's give it a second. Cindy, we'll end up rescheduling this and doing it again. I really wanted to do this presentation tonight, the night before our staff retreat. But we will definitely do it again when we have better Wi-Fi. But hopefully we are in good shape. So everybody says great now. Awesome. Very cool. So I'm going to go back a little. Can everyone hear? I'm going to actually go back a few slides because I know you missed Katrina. How not to get your message across? Katrina, leave this room right now. Are you kidding me? I am trying to do a training on a Sunday night at a castle in Scotland. I am so sorry if I had 15 minutes of technical problems. But y'all with your crappy attitudes can get the hell out of my training room. Listen, I'm trying to give you guys a free training and you're literally like calling me names. I'm going to tell the producer to remove you from the room. Yeah, Kat, I'm going to go back a couple slides now that we got it racking and rolling. Awesome. Cool. All right. Anybody with a crappy attitude, you can leave right now. I am doing my best. It is 8 p.m. on a Sunday night. I am trying to give you a free training. So if you want to complain about my technical problems, I highly recommend you go watch some YouTube videos. I'm sure you'll get a much better training on there. Google whatever you want. Cool? All right. Judy, Valerie, mwah. Moggs, you can stay. Melanie is improving her attitude, apparently. Excellent. Awesome. Thank you, guys. People, be patient and understanding. Thank you, Dawn. Yes, no complaints from Julia. Awesome. All right, we're going to get rocking and rolling for real now. It sounds like we got the technical problem solved. And I'm excited for people who are tuning in who are on vacation. Awesome. All right, so I'm just going to jump in from here just so you get the concept. So the thing that I think that most people do wrong is they approach a book, especially as an editor, they will approach it as, how do we make this writing good? How could this person get an A in English class? But the point is that we're not trying to get an A in English class anymore. We're trying to change people's lives. And you can't change someone's life just because your book is well written. I'm not saying I want a badly written book, don't get me wrong, but we have to put your reader first. And this is the thing I see no one out there doing, and it's why our success rate is so high. So on this slide, I'm sharing some of the ways that I have approached a book. And the clearest way is that I spent most of my life trying to lose weight. And I did just about everything that you can possibly imagine to try to lose weight. And in fact, I would lose weight, but I would gain it back. And so I found this book. In fact, I've lost 100 pounds 5 times, but I lost 100 pounds 4 times and gained it back until I read Brooke Castillo's I'm So Smart, Why Can't I Lose Weight? So I tried just about everything. And then I found this book. And this book created for me permanent weight loss. It created a permanent solution to my problem. And as soon as I read the book, I knew this was the answer I'd been waiting for. And listen, I'd read 500 weight loss books. I'd done Jenny Craig. I'd done Nutrition. Like, you name it, I had done it. But when I found this book, I actually begged the author to accept me as a client. And you could see on the screen the actual email that I sent her. It's 10 years ago now that I sent this email. I said, thanks so much for your amazing work. And then I literally proceed to beg her. I'd already spent money with her. I registered online for a retreat with her. And I begged her to take me as a client. In fact, I close my letter to her by saying, I believe this process would be rewarding for us both. Now, how many emails from prospects have you gotten that literally try to sell you on accepting them as a client? That's what I want for you, because that changes the game. It changes what you can charge, which is awesome. But more importantly, it changes how people listen to you. If you have clients that are begging to work with you, they're not going to fight you and argue with you when you know you can help them. Now, I was begging her to take me as a client, but it's also important for you to know I had a colicky baby who had literally not slept for a year. He just cried nonstop for 18 months. I have forgiven him now, but it took me several years to do so. I had just lost my job and I relocated for my job. So I also lost my dream home because I sold it to relocate for this job that I got fired 6 months later. I was about to get a divorce. My husband had actually sent me an email saying he wanted to sleep with other people and was that okay with me. I was moving out of the house that we bought. The housing market had just crashed, so we bought the house for $350,000. We would be lucky to sell it for 200. I think we ended up selling it for 290, 280 or 290. So money was tight. My future was uncertain, and I didn't know where else to turn or what else to do. But I knew I needed to get a job, and it was going to be hard to get a job at 315 pounds. I knew I needed to breastfeed my baby, and I literally couldn't because I was so big, the baby's face was getting smothered. That's a true story. And I knew that if I was going to move, it was going to be physically hard at that weight. And so, what happened for me was that, it was more expensive for me to not solve this problem. So, okay. So it was more important for me to get this problem solved than to deal with my finances. So this is the thing that I need you to understand. A lot of times people will tell me, oh, I'm talking to a prospect and they just don't have enough money. But the thing is, I didn't have enough money, right? I had no idea what was going on with my money. There was not just a pile of money sitting in the bank. This all went on my credit card, but I had to solve this problem. So if you want clients begging to work with you, you have to find a problem that people have to solve. It can't be a nice to have. That is the first thing I want you to know. So I signed up right away for a retreat that cost $1,250. And then I paid her $14,000 over the next year to make sure I implemented what I learned. So I was a $15,250 client. How many clients would you need in a year to beg you to take $15,000 of their money? If you want to make $60,000 a year, let me tell you, that is 4 clients. If you would like to make $120,000 a year, that is 8 clients. So how many $15,000 a year clients that are begging to work with you and that are going to listen to everything you say would you need to hit your financial goals? So that's the key. That 5th time I lost weight was the last time. And now that the weight was off, I had been working in publishing since 1994, but I noticed something. Many of my book clients were struggling to finish their books in the exact same way that I had been struggling to lose weight. Many of my clients were not making money for their books, or they would have a big win and then they'd start losing again. Their relationship with their books was just like mine with my weight. And this totally fascinated me, and I had to solve it. I had to understand, how come some books like Brooks made a permanent difference and some of them just got people on the merry-go-round reading more and more books? I wanted to help my clients so they can get better results with their books, but I needed to help other readers get the permanent healing that I did. So I started studying everything I could get my hands on. Publishing history, current trends in publishing, self-publishing. I took every single program that was out there. You name a program on publishing, ebooks, print books, writers' workshops. I joined every publishing association. I went to every trade show. I studied storytelling. I studied neuroscience. I studied law of attraction. I went back to the work that I'd done on Lacan. I looked at Hegel's master-slave dialectic, power versus force. I really dug into the Meisner method in theater. I looked at hypnosis. I did copywriting classes. I did mindset work. I did looked at curriculum design, website building, social media. I studied everything to figure out what is it that gets clients begging to work with an author. And that's when I finally got it. It wasn't until I took the practical editing and writing skills that I had learned from being in the publishing industry for 17 years. I combined those in a really weird way with the emotional work I had to do to lose weight, as well as the direct response marketing knowledge I had from the career that I had been running to pay for my life. So I had been working in direct response marketing. And while I was getting my degree in postmodern philosophy and communication, and I was able to combine all that together to solve this mystery for myself and my clients. And so here's the thing, is what I realized is most people go about this the hard way. And the hard way, I'm going to talk to you a lot about what that looks like. And it may be a path that you're on right now, but there is an easy way. That's the shortcut that Brooke took. And that's the shortcut that I teach to my clients that I'm going to teach you guys. So do you want, yes, Angela, for sure, an advertising degree could help you as an author. So do you guys want to learn the easy way? Do we have enough audio and excitement to, awesome, Jan is ready. Do you guys want to learn the easy way? Just hit me with a yes in the chat if you want to hear how to shortcut the path to getting clients to beg to work with you. Awesome. Great. Christopher, Susan, Pamela, Judy, Kate, Marisol. All right. Awesome. Angela, Audrey. All right. So imagine a life where you understand how to make a real difference and have a meaningful impact with your clients. You will understand exactly why it's been so hard and clients are begging you to help them. The number in your bank account keeps going up and the hours you work keep going down. And the market finally starts to work with you instead of against you. And most importantly, you're getting emails every day from people telling you you changed their life. This is exactly what I did. I have 3 wildly successful 7-figure earning books. I have clients begging to work with me. I work for my home and clients come to me. I travel internationally wherever I want, ideally wherever there is Wi-Fi. And every month I host events with some of the world's greatest experts. I've lost 150 pounds. I am genuinely healthy. And I'm regularly asked to speak in front of thousands of people. And I know I have made a huge difference to hundreds of authors, their families, and their clients. Hundreds of healers have done this, so can you. And nothing I'm going to share with you is theory. I've used every single one of these strategies in my business, and I've proven it works consistently with hundreds of other authors. But you have to listen very carefully. These are the 3 secrets to making a difference with a book. And I'm going to go through each of these in detail. The first one you need to know and understand at a deep level. In fact, it's so important. I wrote a whole book about it. The publishing industry does not want you to succeed, and not necessarily for the reasons you think. There is nothing wrong with your message. Stop changing your damn message. There are just some simple things that you need to do to use that message to attract clients. Yeah, Kat, I love that. My kids will thank you. They want to see me more. Your desire to make a difference, which I know if you're on here, you have, it can be your greatest asset or your greatest liability. And most of you are having your desire to make a difference fight you. I'm going to talk more about this, but if you understand weight loss at all, some of you will, some of you won't. But wanting to lose weight was the number one thing that sabotaged my weight loss. There is a secondary gain you get from wanting to make a difference. And so for most people, their desire to make a bigger difference is their greatest liability. You have to understand this. And this is very advanced Yoda ninja stuff that we are going to go through tonight. So that's why I want you paying attention. So let's start with the easy stuff. The publishing industry does not want you to succeed. I 100% promise this. If it feels to you like getting your message out there and becoming better known and getting more clients makes you feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill, that is because you are. The publishing industry has a dilemma with you. You don't have enough followers for them to make money with you. They only make money when they sell books. Books are a very low cost item. And so publishers take about 90% of the revenue. If it's a $15 book, about $5 comes off the top for printing and distribution. That leaves $10. Publishers take $9, you take $1. You do not have enough followers for publishers to sell enough copies of your book for them to make any money off of you. But the problem is you are crowding the marketplace. Publishers used to have to deal with 350,000 new books a year that were released. Now they are dealing with 350,000 a month. And only 20% of books by mainstream publishers are making up the bulk of sales. So what happens is a lot of smaller books are taking smaller bites at the apple. So you're confusing the marketplace. You're crowding the marketplace. You're basically stealing money out of the mouths of publishers, and they can't just leverage you and publish you. The biggest type of person they have a problem with is Brooke Castillo. Remember that weight loss coach I hired? She was a brand new coach. She had like 5 clients before I sent her that email begging her to work with me. She had no list. She had a very small one-page website with horrible photos, I will say, on it, no social media following, and no publisher in the world would have accepted her book. And yet she made well over $250,000 from her book. In fact, within a few months of publishing, she made over $241,000. I'm going to show you exactly how, but it is the ladies in this picture, many of whom I know. You're going to win bonus points if you can spot me in this picture. Who can spot me in this picture? I will give you a clue. I am in the front row. So this picture is from that Lake Tahoe event. I mentioned that I had signed up for a retreat. It was $1,250. It was the first retreat Brooke ever did. By the way, if you don't know Brooke, she's the blonde in the middle. She's next to the woman in the gray t-shirt. Laurelette sees me. I looked a little different. So this was the very first event that Brooke ever did. I'm not in the black and white. There actually is black on my shirt, but you probably can't see it. I'm actually in the front row all the way to the right next to the girl with the gray t-shirt, who is my friend Jen Shaw. And I am a brunette. Exactly. So in that front row is my friend Heidi, my friend Jamie, Brooke Castillo in the middle, Jen Shaw, and me. Why do I know all these women so well? Because almost every one of them, with one exception, almost every one of them not only came to this event, which was 10 years ago this month, but they hired Brooke to be their coach for at least a year. Each of these women has spent at least $15,000 with Brooke, almost all of them except one. One of them, like me, one of them has spent probably $50,000 with Brooke. And yet this is Brooke's blog post from that day. This last week, one of my dreams came true. I had a retreat for a group of brilliant, talented, beautiful women. These women were her very first readers. These were her first coaching clients. Could you make $250,000 from your book within months of releasing it? Yes, you could. Yes, you could. You do not have to have a website, a social media following, a list. What you need to have is a problem people beg you to solve. Publishers, however, don't care about that $250,000 because how much money would a publisher have made off of the women in this? They would have made $9 a person. No, they cannot take her. So publishers only make money when books sell. When you sell coaching, they do not make money. If you can actually solve the problem for your reader, it causes another problem for publishers. They stop buying books about that problem. I bought 500 weight loss books. I was one of their best sources of revenue. That's $9 times 500. That's a lot of money. That's almost $5,000 they made off of me. But Brooke's book was the last weight loss book I ever read. That is a dilemma for publishers. Publishers do not want to work with authors who create permanent change. So it's very important that you understand publishers only make money from selling your books. Do you know who's more likely to buy a weight loss book? Somebody who's bought a weight loss book. So if you offer a permanent solution, you are killing their readership. Now, you don't need a traditional publisher to make $250,000 from your book. If Brooke only thought about selling books, she may never even have finished her book because the numbers just wouldn't have been there, right? She would have been like, well, that's a dumb use of my time. I'm going to sell 20 people a book and I'm going to make $1 a book. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Her goal was to actually bring permanent hope and healing to a few lucky clients. Those are my friends right there who she has changed our lives forever. She never considered a traditional publisher. And now I didn't include these emails because they are confidential, but I can tell you they beg her to publish her books and she keeps saying no. And the reason I know this is she forwards me their emails. Publishers would kill for her to publish with them. She has over 1 million listeners of the Life Coach School podcast. But she doesn't need them now. She could sell as many books as she wants, and she doesn't need to sell more books in order to help more people. She does sell lots of books, but her main focus is running the Life Coach School. So let's run the numbers. For this one retreat, Brooke's first retreat ever, she had 17 participants at $1,250. So that's $21,250. If 16 of the 17 participants signed up for her 14K package, that's $224,000. So this event alone could have generated that $250,000. And it did, because I know all those people. So $250K just for one event that you might have 3 to 6 months after you've written a book. So why did this work for her? It's because she has a book that gets clients begging to work with her. Nikki asked, what if you don't want to coach people? Well, if you don't want a book that creates clients, you should leave this webinar because this webinar is about creating a book that gets clients begging to work with you. They don't have to be coaching clients. They can be consulting. It could be speaking. It could be whatever you do. but you are going to need to actually want clients in order to get value out of a webinar called How to Write a Book that gets clients begging to work with you. This webinar is about getting clients begging to work with you. So that is what I need to share with you, is that if you understand the value from the book is not in book sales, it is instead from creating permanent healing from people begging to work with you. And easily you can create 250K within months. Okay, moving on to the second secret I want you to understand. There is nothing wrong with your message. There are a lot of people in the marketplace who make money out of telling you you are broken. Your message is broken. You need help with your message. You have to redefine your message. You're hiring branding people. You're hiring messaging people. You're hiring people to write your copy. You're hiring ghostwriters. There is nothing wrong with your message. The problem is you are wearing an invisibility cloak. If you are a talented coach, healer, or expert, chances are slim you are good at marketing. Why would you be good at marketing? Most people aren't gifted with two zones of genius that are at opposite ends of the spectrum. You with me? So if your zone of genius is healing people, then your zone of genius is probably not marketing. Your message isn't the problem. Changing your message a million times and you trying to get better at marketing, that actually makes you less visible. The thing that makes you visible is you staying in your damn zone of genius. So you have to know, and what we say in my program is own your genius. We say OMG, own my genius. If you are not owning your genius and investing in people who have zones of genius that are different than yours, then you are going to be stuck in that visibility cloak. You shouldn't be the one changing your message. Ash, what if you're a messaging mentor who helps people get clear on their message? Well, you better be damn clear on your message, Ash. That's what I gotta say. Hopefully you are. I'm sure you are. Say hello to Caroline. It's my girl, Caroline Green. Anybody know Caroline Green? She's one of my favorite people. When she found me, she was still in coaching school. She was unclear on her niche. She had about 50 different niches. She spent a lot of money on a beautiful website and the most beautiful business cards. They were like letter pressed with raised letters. And she had no clients and no list. And this is what she wrote to me. She said, this is her book idea. Goodbye, martyr mom. Hello, free mom. Free mom is supposed to look like the word freedom, by the way. A practical and hysterical self-care guide for exhausted and courageous mamas who are tired of doing everything for everyone except themselves. This book will explore the ways we as mothers buy into the myth that mama has to sacrifice everything in order for everyone to be happy. Consider what our lives might look like if mama was getting some of that love, and learn practical tools, tips, and techniques to care for ourselves while meeting the needs of our loved ones. Why? Because loving yourself means loving others better. What a beautiful message, an absolutely beautiful message. It would not sell a single book, by the way, but the message doesn't need to change. It is the right message. It's just packaged absolutely the wrong way. Here's why. Anyone who considers themselves a martyr isn't, by definition, going to buy a book to take care of themselves. So we have to put this in a context that her readers can actually understand. It doesn't matter if she gets an A from the English teacher in the sky. She has to be able to connect and resonate with an ideal reader. That message that you just read, beautifully written as it was, that is what an invisibility cloak looks like. I am willing to guess that most of you are wearing an invisibility cloak. And Ash says, if what you're saying is that people don't need help with your message, then you're saying this won't work for my business. So I'm saying quite the opposite. I'm saying what a message is what you want to help people with. How you say that is the difference between wearing an invisibility cloak and not. And what I see happening is people keep changing their niche, and they're like, well, maybe I should help this kind of person. Maybe I should help that kind of person. You know what your zone of genius is. You have to work with other people who can help you position that message. To make a difference, you have to stop daydreaming about making a difference, and you have to start selling. I think the best way to find out if you have your message right is to go sell something, to put out lots of offers until you get the message right. The philosophy at The Difference Press is you sell it before you write it. So what we did with Caroline is, oh yeah, I love it when light bulbs go off. Marina just said I had a light bulb go off. What we did with Caroline is we had her sell her package before she wrote the book. It's exactly what Brooke did. Before Brooke wrote the book, she took out ads in a local newspaper. You all have local newspapers. The ads are very cheap. She got free space from a local library, and she ran workshops teaching the principles from her book. She got people to come to her workshops before she wrote the book. She made a little bit of money. They were $97 workshops, but she got client stories from her book. Then she invited those people to an audio class, which turned into the book itself. It's how she wrote the actual book, was through that audio class. And then she had a product that she could sell. She called it Book in a Box. So if you can't sell it before you write it, you won't be able to sell it after it's written. There's nothing that makes it easier to sell a book after it's written. You need to learn how to think like your ideal reader. You have to write copy that pulls your reader in. You have to find out where your ideal reader hangs out, could be the local newspaper. And most importantly, you have to claim the mountain that you're going to dedicate your life to being the sovereign of. So the first question that I want you to ask yourself is, what can you be the best in the world at? What can you be the best in the world at? That is your zone of genius, yours and no one else's. So here's what happens when you follow the author's way. Today, Caroline makes about $25,000 a month. She works about 25 hours a week. $25,000 a month, working 25 hours a week. And she helps exhausted and courageous mamas take care of themselves, just like she wanted to. So the message that she shares on the planet has not changed, but she learned how to frame the problem so that her ideal clients can see her. So instead of calling them martyrs, she calls them determined. And instead of focusing on self-care, which we know they're not investing in self-care because they're martyrs. So she focuses her book on how to find work or grow a business that's right for you and your family. And the way to do that, to either have a job or have a business. And the third book in the series is about being a stay-at-home mom and not working. So we have work-at-home moms, we have work out-of-home moms, then we'll have the stay-at-home moms. But the way to do that is through self-care. So Kat says she's confused about sell it before you write it. I think it's funny you're confused, and I think it's serving you to be confused, Kat. So I think you should figure out what it would mean to sell a book before you write it. Because me telling you, wouldn't people find you out? We're not going to lie to anybody, Nikki. We're going to say, my book is coming out soon. Would you like to buy it? So how do you run a workshop? You just run a workshop. These are not hard things, you guys. Your brain is making them hard because you'd rather stay where you are. There's nothing complicated about it at all. Brooke's ads that she took out in a newspaper, those ads said, if I'm so smart, why can't I lose weight? Come to a 1-hour workshop to find out. And if nobody came to that workshop, she should for sure not call her book that. So you can place an ad in the newspaper right now that says the name of your book, How to Find Meaningful Work That's Right for You and Your Family. And if nobody comes, that's the wrong name for your book. You could do it at a donut shop or cafe. In fact, I have some clients that do that, Julia. So exactly right. So fantastic. Here is secret number 3. You have to know if your desire to make a difference is helping or hurting. In the example of Nikki and Laurelette, you can actually hear almost instantly that their desire to make a difference is what is sabotaging them. They want it, and they want it so much, they're creating more wanting. That is exactly why I immediately gained weight the first 4 times I lost 100 pounds. I wanted to want to lose weight. And though Laurelette and Nikki may not realize it, and it's subconscious, obviously I would have passed any lie detector test in the land if you asked me if I wanted to lose weight. Their desire to make a difference is what is sabotaging them. So first, you have to know secrets 1 and 2. You have to know it's not about book sales. And you have to know that you must learn how to market your message. And you do that by investing in people to help you market your message. And if you master both of those secrets, that is only 20% of the battle. The third secret is the tripwire. And until you nail this, you will continue to sabotage yourself. So you must work on secrets 1 and 2 while simultaneously putting the bulk of your effort in understanding how your desire to make a difference is sabotaging you. I'm going to show you an example here. This is Jen McRobbie. Jen is a life coach and a mom. She is also a cancer survivor, and she wanted to write a book. But she had cancer treatments, and she also really wanted to spend time with her kids, which makes sense. And they kept getting in the way. So her book kept not getting done. She had lots of reasons not to finish and lots of people supporting her not finishing. If she was on her own, for sure, she would have sabotaged her project because she was getting benefit. Nikki, stop talking. Start listening, mama. You are talking way too much. I am worried about you. Focus. You cannot be doing this much processing in your brain and taking in the secrets that I am teaching you. Okay? So, what was happening with Jen is that she really just wanted to tell people she was writing a book. She wanted to want to write a book, but she didn't actually want to do it. And if she was on her own, she would have sabotaged her project. But here it is, Jen's award-winning bestseller. She finished her book because it was a priority to finish. And the reason it was a priority is that we gave her a reason to finish by being a part of the Author Incubator. And what I mean by that is the program, completing the program with the deadlines, the other people in the program itself gave her a reason that was greater and gave her a reward that was greater than the reward or the secondary gain from wanting to want to write a book. Jen now speaks on stages around the world. She's recently spoke to a group of 2,000. But to get her book done, and Nikki and Laurelette, this is the answer to your question, so make sure you're paying attention. To get her book done, she had to change her thoughts. This is the answer also to all of your marketing questions and to how to get clients begging to work with you. Jen had to first become the person who wrote the book before she wrote it. Now, I know this sounds backwards, and I promise you that this is the ninja Yoda stuff that we would talk about. It sounds backwards, but this is actually how it works. Shelly, this program is for people who want to get clients begging to work with them. So if you do not want to get clients begging to work with you, you are in the wrong place, and you should for sure hang up. The person who wrote the book figured out how to write with cancer treatments and kid time in the mix. So what you want to ask is, what did the person who wrote the book do and do that. What did the person who sold an event before she wrote the book, what did she do? What did the person who sold 100 pre-orders of her book do, and be that person? So how do we do this at the Author Incubator? So the way the Author's Way works is that I use the exact same model that helped me stop self-sabotaging and lose 100 pounds and keep it off to help you write your book. This is Brooke Castillo's brilliant self-coaching 101 model. So what we have to do is we have to change your thoughts. When we change your thoughts, it changes the results. So the circumstance, I don't know how to run an event, can trigger the thought, or the circumstance that I've never run an event before could trigger the thought, I don't know how to run events, I'm stupid. That can cause feelings of inadequacy and freak out. That can cause you to do a bunch of things like changing your message and your niche a million times. That causes the result that you've never run an event before, and you keep creating evidence that the thoughts that you have are true. If we don't change your thoughts, no matter what else I teach you, we cannot change the result. This is the most important thing I'm teaching you guys today, and this is the Author's Way. My clients don't even realize what I'm doing with them, but I focus most of my time on changing their thoughts, and their books get finished. That's what happened with Jen. When I say we gave her a reason to finish, what I mean is we broke the pattern. Exactly, Laurelette. We broke the pattern of wanting to want to write a book. We broke the pattern of wanting to want to get on stages. And we did that by changing her thought. You see, the real problem is our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that most frightens us. And you're playing small and pretending you don't know how to run an event at a local library does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. I know that's what it feels like. Jan, apparently I have been told by many of my hypnosis clients that I do a lot of hypnosis, although I've never studied it formally. And Susan, I am doing a lot of CBT, and I have studied that formally. So yes, it is all about changing your thoughts. It is all about the neuroscience behind all of this. And the truth is, you have a zone of genius. You have something you are better at than anyone else in the world. And you are so scared of that zone of genius that you will do anything to cover it up. I covered it up with 100 pounds of fat. I love that Marianne says here, there's nothing enlightened about shrinking. The way I shrunk was just by packing on the pounds so no one would see me. But we all have our ways of shrinking. And for my clients, that's talking about writing a book. It's talking about running their coaching business and never actually doing it. And that changes when they join the Author's Way. The good news is you are normal. Most coaches and healers keep trying to fix their message, change their niche, find a better place to get leads, hone their craft, take another course, get another certification. They think about healing and service, which is fantastic. But no one tells them their desire to serve is the exact thing that's holding them back. Laurelette says, I'm terrified of being discovered, but it's like it's much bigger than myself. Yeah, you're terrified of being discovered. That's when I talked about selling before you wrote the book, and you couldn't even understand it because you're so protecting yourself. And we have to give you a good reason to know you're safe, and you don't need to protect that. Catherine, I've gained half my body weight in 6 years. Girl, I hear you, mama. I know what that is like. Be the author first instead of the writer first. What I say is have a servant's heart and focus on that one person you can write a love letter to. It's not about the desire to help others. It's about what you're making that mean. We have to understand the thoughts behind that. We can't just accept it. Can you see why it's not your fault this hasn't worked? No one talks about this. No one tells authors what is holding them back. And of course, now that you know secret number one, you know the publishing industry is not going to tell you. Why do we know they're not going to tell you? You are their biggest problem. They're going to throw as many obstacles in your way as possible. So it's not just about the strategy, which is that you have to sell something from your book and just one thing. It's not about the tactics, knowing how to market and sell. The real key to writing a book that matters is managing the drama on the road to becoming the person who wrote the book. That is the key. That is the absolute key. And hey, it's just like weight loss. It's actually pretty easy to lose weight. You pick a strategy, let's say Jenny Craig, it doesn't matter which one. Then you choose the tactics, you order the food, you take the vitamins, you chop the salad. The challenge comes in when guys start whistling at you in the street, your best friend stops inviting you over for ice cream on the couch night, you start drinking or smoking to buffer the emotional discomfort, and then you start eating again because you feel badly about drinking or smoking or whatever you're doing, and then ba-bam, sabotage strikes again. That is exactly how people block their ability to make the difference they were born to make. And here's the thing, white knuckling it doesn't work. A lot of your questions right now, how do you choose between different people you want to write a love letter to? Over and over again, the questions I get asked, the answers I can give you, but most people try to white knuckle their way into finishing. But it's really just like with weight loss. So you can crash diet, but you're going to gain the weight back. So you can do every technique I teach you. And in a minute, I'm going to teach you a bunch of techniques. You can do them all, and you will still find a miraculous way to sabotage. You will gain the weight back. You cannot beat your inner author into wanting to come out and play. And you can't beat yourself up into losing weight. Losing weight must come from self-love, or it's never permanent. We have to learn how to think, act, and make decisions like the person we will be when we have the things we want. And there is no more powerful way to do that than writing a book. What do I mean by that? What does it look like? These are actual examples, and they aren't all of them. The person who finished their book, the person who's making a difference with their book, is going to have many obstacles show up in the way while they're writing the book, while they're marketing the book. The person who is making a difference with their book moves forward whether these things happen or not. And they will happen. So these are actual things our authors have had to deal with while getting their book done. Foreclosure and bankruptcy filings, being half paralyzed from a stroke, surprise unplanned kitchen remodeling, pregnancy, labor, and delivery, true story, getting a PhD. We've had multiple authors get a PhD, losing a beloved pet, losing parents. We've actually had somebody lose both parents. Transitioning ownership of a family business to a child, starting a new and very hot romance. That is a major block, very hard to focus when that's going on. Dyslexia. We've had several clients with dyslexia. We've had somebody break their hip. We've had one author who I love, Lisa Cavallero. She did 2 books with us. She had 2 kids get married and 1 graduate from college in the same 9-week period that she was writing her book. Kidney stones, grieving the death of a sibling who committed suicide. You do not need a PhD to be credible. But Nikki, you need to ask better questions like that to be credible. Mama, what's going on? You got to listen. So a child with major illnesses, major reoccurring illnesses, new job. We've had people definitely starting new jobs. So these are all things that aren't going to, life does not start happening. Lost my husband. We've had that happen, unfortunately, very recently, in fact. So these things aren't going to stop happening. In fact, everyone you know who is making a major difference with their message, those people that are making that major difference with their message, all this stuff is going on in their life too. I heard an amazing episode of a podcast with the founder of Honest Tea. And what he was saying was he quit his job to start Honest Tea. And the day after he quit his job, one of his kids was diagnosed with a serious and most likely terminal form of cancer. And he could have gone back to his old job and gotten his old job back, but he chose not to, not because he didn't love his kid and didn't want to be there for his kids, but because he knew that the best thing he could do for his kid, no matter what was happening, was to be living the life that he was meant to live. And he was miserable in his other job. So yes, starting a business, starting what became a $1 billion business was really risky at that point because he didn't have health insurance. He didn't have a stable income. But he knew that was the right thing. That is what making a difference requires. The person who makes a difference shows up as life happens. Obstacles, I do believe, are a place to see how bad you really want things. And also, they're not. It's just effing life. It's not like it's a test. It's just, this is what life is. About half of life is challenges. And the question is, who do you want to be in the face of those challenges? The question is not, how do we get the challenges to stop and things to calm down? Because I can assure you, things are not calming down. So I mentioned before, there was the hard way and the easy way. The hard way is if you build it, they will come. You focus on the craft. You focus on being the best writer. You want to get an A from the English teacher in the sky. You develop your platform and your followers one at a time to get 1 million followers. If you're getting one a day, it's going to take 1 million days. You keep creating content. You hope that you have a viral hit. You struggle to write and make ends meet, or you work in a job that you don't necessarily like, but that pays the bills. And you hope that lightning strikes and something goes viral or you get discovered. Examples of people I love who went the if you build it, they will come way: Elizabeth Gilbert, Glennon Doyle Melton, Brene Brown, Richard Bach, whose name is spelled wrong there. There are people who win the lottery. There are not many, but you can definitely be one of them. I don't recommend it. There is a smarter way. We call it the author's way. It is also known as the easy way. Focus on service. What do people already want? Don't try and invent a new category. Be a good enough writer to help people now. Start selling today. And if you aren't awesome at selling and marketing, work with a mentor who can help you do that. Focus primarily on funding your movement. What is the best and easiest way to fund your movement today? Keep creating content only in that it serves your reader and generates revenue. And, these are typos in here. And commit to service even if it makes you uncomfortable. You have to create your own luck. That means you put offers out there, you sell things, and you only develop things that you know are selling. Examples: Oprah, Tim Ferriss, Brendon Burchard, Brooke Castillo, Louise Hay, Richard Kiyosaki. That is the author's way. What does it mean to fund your movement? Catherine, it means you start making money now. You don't wait until you have it figured out to start selling things. It's exactly what I just explained to you that Brooke Castillo did. She didn't wait until she had clients or a website or she figured out anything. She started by selling. And I want each of you to start by selling. That is the secret to funding your movement. You can't fund your movement. You can't keep going if your movement isn't funded. So how do you do that? Well, we teach authors this 10-step process. It works every time. You start by defining your ideal reader. I teach people exactly how to do that. Then we have to make sure you're being authentic. It has to be your zone of genius. So we identify your zone of genius. We frame your outcome. What is the amount of revenue and the number of people that you want to reach? For example, with Brooke, She had a $250,000 offer within 6 months that was reaching 17 new clients for her retreat and 16 clients for her year-long coaching. We focus your author mojo. That means that you are doing what works for you, where you're doing what you're good at. Envision your success is focusing on what would you be thinking or doing, who would you be if you had the success that you want. Release your blocks. We've talked a lot about that today. We have to figure out what is standing in the way of you being the person who's making the difference that you want. We establish your author feeling state so that you can monitor your thoughts and adjust them. That's using that self-coaching 101 model. And then we have to write your book and publish it. And then step number 10, so write your book. Number 8, create your masterpiece. That's the publishing. And expand your reach. That is expanded marketing beyond your ideal reader and your first clients. So as you can see, writing, publishing, and marketing your book is only a tiny part of the process. It's about 20 to 30%. About 20% is writing and publishing your book. The rest of it is all about managing the drama. You don't have to struggle. You just need to position yourself so your ideal clients beg to work with you. That is the key to everything. So the 3 secrets to make a difference with a book is that you must use your book to build awareness among your ideal clients, and you must do it quickly to fund your movement. There are some simple things that you can do to attract clients without compromising your values. And those simple things are really about focusing on your zone of genius. And you must become the person who has the results you want before you get the results. So I learned how to build a 7-figure business as an author without a list, a website, or a big following by getting my clients begging to work with me. And what this does is it allows me to make a bigger and bigger difference with my message every day. As an author, getting clients begging you to accept them as a client requires just 3 things. So remember what I said to Brooke is like, would you please consider taking me as a client? It would mean so much to me, and I think it would be a great experience for you. So can you imagine if clients were coming to you like that? Would you please consider working with me? So here's all it requires. You have to get the book done quickly and efficiently. You have to have an action-oriented strategy for how to use the book. And you have to be the person your clients would hire. This is the step that most people want to skip. You must know your ideal reader inside and out and know the person they would gladly hand $15,000 to. Who is that person? You have to find a way to be that person now. That is so important. So here are some things I want you to ask yourself. What would the person who wrote the book that you're going to write be thinking right now? What would the person who has clients begging to work with them be thinking right now? And what would the person who is making the difference you want to make be thinking right now? So you know what you need to do now. Do you want to learn how to do it? And I hope the answer is yes. Give me some yeses in that box. I think we got a little lag, but I'm going to share with you guys the 2 things you need while you are deciding if this is a yes for you. There are 2 things that you need in order to actually do this. And a lot of you have been asking questions. So how do I do this? How do I do this? So the first thing is you need a true commitment to making a difference. So that means we have to figure out if you want to make a difference, or do you have a true commitment to make a difference? If you want to make a difference, what you will do is you will keep gathering information at this point. So the way you can know if it's a true commitment to making a difference is if you take action now or if you keep gathering information now. It is like those 500 diet books I read. Is this diet book number 37 for you and you're going to keep reading diet books? Or is now the time for you to make a commitment? And the next thing is you need a coach to help you. Just like I needed Brooke to help me lose 150 pounds. I always forget how to count. I was 315 pounds and I'm 170 now. Somebody can do the math. 145, something like that. You need a coach to help you because why would you be good at this? You've already learned the other way for 20 or 30 or 40 years. So, do you want to write a book that makes a difference in the last hour? And it's an hour and 15 minutes because we had technical problems for the first 15 minutes. But do you want to write a book that makes a difference? In the last hour, we've been learning the 3 secrets to writing a book that gets clients begging to work with you. These are the exact secrets that changed my life. They've changed hundreds of my clients' lives. But I haven't had the time that I would need to truly teach you how to apply and practice the difference process. I'm going to tell you the truth. It takes weeks for many of my clients and months for many of my clients to really process. So, what I can tell you guys is the real way to learn how to apply this. And earlier, somebody said, which of my books would I start with? I do think Make 'em Beg to Publish Your Book, which is my newest book, is probably my best book. The difference, though, will teach you the 10 steps to writing a book. But the truth is, if you're going to apply and practice the difference process, the best way to do that is to work with me. And people are always asking me, what does it include? How much does it cost? Usually they're sending me Facebook messages that I never have time to answer. And so what I want to do with you guys is I want to make you an offer to apply to work with me. And I want you to understand what the program is. Now, if you already know, like Lanier knows she's too busy now, Lanier, you should probably check out now. This probably isn't a good fit for you. And so it's just not good timing. But if you are ready to dig in and learn how to apply and practice the difference process, and you want me to coach you through that the way Brooke coached me, this is how it works. So your thinking alone at this moment will determine whether your dreams come true. What are you thinking is possible? Is it worth it to you to figure this out? I want you to seriously ask yourself, do you need to figure this out or can you keep going with things how they are? It sounds like Lanier is fine going with things how they are right now. She's busy. Now is not the time to change it. That's totally valid. But if now is the time for you to change things, if you don't want to keep going how you are, and I will tell you, when I was 315 pounds, I was fired from my job. I didn't know who was going to hire somebody who is that overweight. I didn't know what was going to happen getting divorced. Like, even though there were a million reasons why I didn't have the money or the time to fix my weight when I did, I also didn't have the money or the time not to. So seriously ask yourself, do you need to figure this out or are you okay a little longer going with things how they are? You are always getting what you want right now. Lanier said she's busy. She's just going to get more busy. That's awesome. That's what she wants. And I encourage you to just own that. Most people will tell you their priorities are spirituality, career, health, and family. And then the way they spend money is on their house, their car, their stuff, college, entertainment, vacations, expensive purses. I talk to my clients about that all the time. I was just talking to a client a couple hours ago about that. She had somebody tell her they couldn't afford to invest in her. And then shortly thereafter, she saw them announce on Facebook that they were taking a trip to India. And so are your priorities aligned with your spending? When you invest in making a difference, your priorities come first. Belen says she's leaving. She's going to write her next chapter. She's already invested in this process. She is making a difference right now in the author's way. And I think her book is due very soon. So ciao, Belen. Thanks for being with us. She's doing an amazing job. So investing in a book that gets clients begging to work with you, I think has the highest return on investment because it's funding your movement. I think service is our highest act of spirituality. For me, it is. You may not agree with that, but when I serve and I stand in my zone of genius and I am not afraid to let my life shine, that is the truest, to me, connection with source. Career. When clients beg to work with you, you not only make more money and you can focus on healing yourself, creating family memories, donating to meaningful charities, but more importantly, when they come to you begging to work with you, they're going to actually do the work and you're going to have job satisfaction. Health. You simply cannot serve if you aren't taking care of yourself. I recommend a minimum of 10 hours a week of self-care, and I frequently require my clients to do self-care. I will tell them they must take time off. Self-care is required to grow your movement. The person who is making the difference is taking care of themselves, I can assure you. And family, I can't tell you how amazing I can't tell you how amazing it is to work with my husband and my son and my best friend, and we travel the world together. And looking back at what we have created serving others, I have a pretty fun international urban family that's been sort of assembled in a creative way. And it's so fun to be building this business with them. So I truly believe that investing in writing a book that gets clients begging to work with you has the highest return on investment. But most people spend more on their car than their business. And your business is what determines the quality of your life, certainly more than your car, but I think more than anything. What else determines if you have money for your family, for your health? What else determines if you have job satisfaction or connection to source? And yet, that's not what people tend to invest in. So your options are trial and error, spray and pray, try a bunch of different things, take what you get, or give up. And whatever you have been considering, I think the author's way is a better way. It's different than a traditional publisher. It's different than self-publishing. It's different than working with an editor. It's different than working with a book coach. You will end up with a book for sure. So 99% of our clients have finished, and those who haven't, one of them died. One of them had she finished her book, but she couldn't publish it because she had some legal challenges with her book that actually in a weird way had to do with WikiLeaks. So she had a court injunction put on her book. So you will finish your book, but this is a totally new opportunity. It's a new paradigm. There's nothing in publishing that exists. So I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look at this life-changing program I created so that your ideal reader can find you and beg to work with you. It is a place where you'll write a book. That is a huge part of it. But more importantly, it's a place where you become the person who is making the difference you know in your heart you were born to make. So here is what you get in the program. First, you get the Author's Way course. So that's 39 short videos by me that are going to teach you each step in this process, broken down into tiny little micro assignments that should take you 2 to 4 hours a week to complete the assignments. So it's about 50 hours of work with these 39 videos. And this is what that student center looks like. And part of those assignments is going to be exactly what you guys were asking about, which is how do I start by selling? So Tamara joined on December 1st. She started selling on December 16th. And she said, I was a little bit nervous, but I sold her on 10 weeks at $1,000. I know I'll get more confident in making more in less time, but I'm feeling elated right now. I did what you said. I listened to her problem and offered a solution. In the month of June, Tamara generated $34,000. The first time she ever sold anything was December 16th. How awesome would it be if you were making $34,000 a month in just 6 months? Yes? Would that be amazing? Would you guys want to make $34,000 a month in just 6 months? I love Tamara's story. All right, you are also going to get our personal author concierge who is going to work with you to make sure that you get every single one of those assignments in, every question answered on those assignments so that you know that you are doing that right and you will submit them to Mila or Ray. You can see Mila in the hat here. She is my best friend who I mentioned, who is part of my family. Our kids have been raised together. And Ray is our other author concierge. She's amazing. So Mila and Ray are going to work with you. They're going to use a tool called Basecamp to make sure you get every single assignment in, that it's done correctly, and that you don't have any questions or any weirdness. Here's another example. This is Wendy, just from a couple months ago. I just closed my first sale for my beta. She told me she's been praying for something like this to come along, and she thanked me for doing this. My ideal reader is one of the strongest women I know, and that's showing up in response to the response I'm getting. I'm overcome by the sheer beauty of the group of women being drawn to my post. So that is what it feels like. That is what it feels like when you know you're making a difference. The program is the perfect thing to help her heal, and I'm beyond excited. How amazing is that? So you're going to get weekly live coaching with me. It's usually 2.5 hours a week that I am focused on making sure any obstacle standing in your way, I am personally working with you to solve. This is what the weekly group call looks like. We use a system called Zoom, and you'll meet the other authors and connect with them. I love this story. On one of those author calls, Joanne said to me, I have a problem. I want to make 10K. I want to make 10K this month, but I only have 3 weeks because I'm going on vacation. I'm going to California for the last week. And she said, you told me I should make 10K in 3 weeks. And she said, on May 12th, so only 2 weeks into the month, she had already hit that 10K with another week to spare. She ended up making 15K in May, and she crossed in June. I think she crossed 25K. So 25K in 4 or 5 months. Sound good to anybody? 25K a month? Is that where you want to be? And also, would you like to just do it in 3 weeks? Maybe you just want to make 10K in 2 weeks and take the other 2 weeks off. For some of you, having more time might be more important. So if time is more important to you, and just say 10K in 2 weeks, or you can type into the comments 20K in a month. What feels better for you? So here's what you get. You get the Author's Way course. That's the 39 training classes. The personal author concierge, making sure you get everything that you need. The weekly live coaching with me, 2.5 hours. Daily access to asking questions with me. That is in our Facebook group. I am extremely active. There are generally somewhere between 100 and, a lot of you guys liking the idea of 10K in 2 weeks. Nice. We can totally set that up for you. So I am generally answering between 100 and 200 questions a week in the Facebook group. It is extremely active. And we also do a lot of celebrating in there. So who's just got 2 thumbs and got invited to speak next year at an event headlined by Gary Vee, this girl. So who wants to do speaking here? If you want to do speaking, just type in the comments, I want to be invited to speak. I want to speak. I want to do live speaking. So lots of our authors are getting speaking gigs. If you're a Gary Vee fan, this might be exciting for you. Teresa's taking 10K in 3 weeks. I love that. All right, so here's what you get. You get the Author's Way course. That's a 39 video trainings that I've done. The personal concierge to make sure you're doing all of, I love it, a lot of speakers in the group. Awesome. You're doing all of the assignments correctly. You get weekly live coaching with me, access to ask me questions anytime you want, day or night. You get our beautiful Author's Way program workbook, just because I like holding things in my hand. And here is a fun story from one of our authors who published on June 29th. He published June 29th. He turned 30, I want to say on June 30th, but he turned 30 also in June. And he joined the program in, I want to say, February. So who submitted their resignation today? This guy. I gave June 28th, the day before my book launch, as my last day. He quit while he was 29. It is the last day. He will never work a day in his 30s. And he did not leave because he didn't leave sooner than that. He did make it to June 28th, but he did make $10,000, which was twice his salary in June. So imagine being able to quit your job. Is anybody in a job that wants to quit their job in the next, let's say, 3 months and double their salary? Anybody in a job that would want to double their salary and quit their job? Say yes to that one. So in the program, you get those 39 trainings, you get the author concierge, making sure that you get everything submitted correctly. You're getting weekly live coaching with me. You're getting access to daily questions. You can ask me questions anytime. You get the workbook. And this is my favorite thing. Oh, Manuela's ready to triple her salary. That's awesome. I want to double my salary and quit my job. I love that. Quit my job by next year. Kim, let's do it in 3 months. Amari blew his own mind that he was able to quit in just 3 months. It was awesome. So this is my favorite thing in the program. You get a live 3-day marketing intensive at my house. This is my house. It is known as the Author Castle. It is in Washington, D.C. It's actually in McLean, Virginia, but that's hard for me to say because I like being from Washington, D.C. So this is the Author Castle. Kelly, I love it. You are ready to roll. We come to that 3-day event, and at that event, we do all of the marketing for your book for an entire year. We build a 1-year marketing program, and we also set your book up for self-publishing. So when you come to the castle, your manuscript will be done. You will still need to do proofreading. So we won't actually go live with your book, but we will get your cover done, all your front and back matter. The book will be live. And what we will be doing at that point is just waiting for your final proofread. So everything will be on pre-order. You will get bestseller status in pre-order while you come to the castle. I'll show you exactly how we do that. Does your system include how to sell before the book is published? Michael, that is 90% of the system. Have you been paying attention? Raise your hand, say yes. That's exactly what we do. That's why everybody here in the testimonials are saying, I sold my first program. Yes, we sell before the book is published. In fact, you can't start writing until you make money. And you'll see here, this was Aisha. Aisha said, I sold my first program. I'm ecstatic and panicking. I have to build it now. So you can see she sold it before she built it. All I have is the header for each module. Okay, I'm scared. What if they don't like it? What if it's not good enough? Oh my God, I actually sold my first one. This is crazy. She has now sold many, many more. She is a phenomenal client, and she was scared. And that is why you need a coach, because it is scary. And we were able to go through it step by step. And she now sees, Joyce, you got to start over. She now sees exactly why you don't create a program before you sell it, because you would, by definition, create the wrong program, by definition. All right, so here's what you get. You get those 39 training videos. You get the personal author concierge. It's either my best friend or Ray on our team who are going to work with you to make sure you understand every assignment. You get live coaching with me. You get daily access to ask me any question, anytime. You get the Author's Way workbook, the 3-day event at my house, which is incredible. And then I throw in a couple bonuses. So you get the Start a Movement training program. It's a 6-class training program designed to prepare you to write a book that's part of a bigger vision of having a following of hundreds, thousands, and someday millions. It will also show you exactly how to create a beta program. So these 6 classes are the 12 chapters in my second book. So you can create a program at the exact same time you write your book, and Start a Movement is an example of exactly how to do that. So you get the content, but you're also getting it as an example. And then if you want to know how to make 10K or more from your book before you write it, you also get access to my 30-class video-based training program, Make 10K, where you discover how to create a highly valuable offer to sell as you create your book, or to sell right after your launch so your book can make a difference beyond the book. So you can make a difference beyond the book. So when I work one-on-one with people, my standard rate for developmental editing and book coaching is $25,000, but I don't charge my incubated authors that. I include book coaching, business coaching, and developmental editing with the Author's Way program and all the bonuses. And if you are selected, a lot of people say to me, who's the editor I'll be working with? Hi, it's nice to meet you. I am your developmental editor. This is my zone of genius. I am personally going to incubate your message so you can make a bigger difference, just like I did with Caroline and the other authors we've talked about here. Developmental editing, my standard price is $6,000. Book coaching, $6,500. And then you will also get business coaching from me to make sure that you are selling and you know how to sell and how to market your book before you write it. So if you add up the value of everything, it's about a $40,000 value, $39,369. But you will get everything if you are selected for about $14,000. It's actually either one payment of $14,000 or 3 payments of $5,000. So I am an author that makes a difference and has clients begging to work with me. These are my 3 books, and they follow the exact difference process that I teach you guys. The first 2 are client conversion books, and one was written with a beta that generated $25,000 before I wrote a single word. The third one is a platform speaking book. It's in a very different style, and it has generated for me hundreds of thousands of dollars in speaking gigs since it came out just a couple months ago. If all I did was help you get your book out of your head and into your hands, wouldn't that be worth it for you? Or if all I did was to help you increase your revenue $10,000 to $30,000 a month, would that be worth it for you? If all I did was help you get clear and confident about how to actually best serve your market, would that be worth it for you? Kat says, $34,000 in 6 months would help a large number of issues. Yeah, exactly. We have to fund our movements. How many authors go through the course together? Around 14, Ash. So it's somewhere between 12 and 16. So my coaching is extremely effective. It is why people are willing to pay me $25,000 for just a single day of my time, because they know that it works. But there are 3 huge benefits if you are accepted. Number 1, for sure, you will finally get your book done unless you die. That will be a major inconvenience. Somebody mentioned, Kat said it would put a crimp in her plans. Mine too. You will have an offer and you will make sales. And this is the number 1 thing. You will stop trying to figure it out and start getting results. I will give you a reason. I will give you a reason to stop wanting to want a book. So I'm going to ask you yes or no, and I want you to make sure you like your reasons. So a lot of people say no because they can't afford it. Kate is trying to say that right now. Michael, you do not need a how-to process only. You do need to want clients. If you don't want clients, it won't work, but you do not need a how-to process. Linda, if you finish your manuscript and you're ready for marketing, as long as you're willing to throw out the manuscript and start over, I would love to work with you. I love Christian books. So if your reason for a no is that you can't afford it, I want you to really think about if you can't afford to be making $34,000 a month in 6 months. If your reason is I'm too busy, I want you to really say, yep, I'm happy. I would rather be doing the other things. I don't want to prioritize this. If you think, oh, it won't work for me. I don't have a how-to book. I have a yoga class. I have a nonfiction book. I'm different. Are you happy with that? If you're thinking, I have to figure out some stuff first. A lot of people want to do their website first. I can assure you, whatever you figure out, I'm going to undo. If you're thinking, oh, I'm not clear on my topic, like, are you okay with those being your answers? Or do you want your answer to be yes? If you're ready to say, I'm tired of being confused all the time. I'm ready to change my life. I want to finally get my book done. Ash says, do all of your authors start making money before they write the book? Ash, the answer is not the ones with that attitude. Yes, but we start by changing their thought. So if you have the thought, will I start making money? The answer is for sure you won't. If you're afraid that you'll be able to earn money, for sure you won't. So you've just created a ton of extra work for yourself. That's fine. We will do that work. If your answer is, it is worth it for me to help other people, if you are committed to investing in yourself, if you want to say, I deserve this and I need to focus on me for a change instead of investing in everyone else around me. I can't keep going on like this. I need to finally get my business going and start a steady stream of $10, $20, $30, $40,000 a month. If you know you have a deeper purpose that is your zone of genius and marketing is not it, if you know that and you haven't had a guide, this is the time to say yes. I don't have time to waste. I want to be one of Angela's biggest successes. Oh, I mentioned Amari, who quit his job. He's actually in this picture. A lot of the clients I talked about today, Amari is also next to Aisha, who talked about getting her first client and then creating the program. So Amari and Aisha, in the back holding up her book Lighter is Erica Flint. Erica has doubled her business in the time since we have been working together. So when you look at the people here, they all had all of the exact challenges and obstacles and fears as you, and they have come into the program because these were their yes reasons. And then we get a little bit goofy. This was us at our last launch. I love that. We've had lots and lots of people with cancer, Wendy. I don't do scholarships. I don't find they get very good results, but we have lots of people with cancer. Trying to see if anybody in this picture has cancer. No, but we do have a widow in this picture. We have somebody going through a very nasty divorce. We have somebody who just got fired, somebody who quit her job. Yeah, we have somebody whose kid just started college. Lots of good stuff in that picture. So if you are ready to apply to get incubated, you will just go to the authorincubator.com/apply. And there's Edna. See you soon at the castle, Edna. She wasn't in the picture, but she's going to be in a picture soon. And these are all of the things that we talked about that you will get as an incubated author. And so what I am going to do, I am right on time, although I'm 15 minutes late because we started late, is I am going to put 30 minutes on the clock for you to think about applying. We're going to take applications for the next 30 minutes. And I am also going to take your questions in that time. Bonnie says, how do you fund it? I'm going to give you, Bonnie, some of the ways people have funded it. Lots of people have funded it by selling things. Thanks, Valerie. Lots of people fund it by selling things. That is the best way to do it. Go sell a couple clients. You would need one 15K client and you could pay for this. So for sure, that is one option. Lots of people use credit cards. I've heard creditcards.com is a great place to get a credit card. Oh, thanks, Edna. So some people use credit cards. Some people have used a home equity line. Some people have used a 401k. I had somebody pay in 13 separate payments. She took 13 separate loans out. The program starts when you sign up, Ash, whenever you sign up. First, you have to apply and be accepted. Can we apply later, like tomorrow? Now is the time I want you to really make the decision to apply. The application will take you a little while for sure. I think I normally recommend about 20 minutes to fill it out. So if you're asking questions here, you might not be able to apply. But the longer we get away from the application time, the less likely you are to do it. Marcia says, take a leap if you want it. What's the application process, the criteria for acceptance? That's a great question, Michael. What I am looking for, first of all, in the application, we will still talk again before you join the program. But in the application process, I am going to want to find out, do you want to make a difference? Who do you want to help? Have you already helped people in the past? So what I'm looking for is people with a servant's heart who are committed to making a difference, who have a product to sell or a service to sell or speaking. Anya, there is a payment program. There is also a payment plan, 3 payments of 5K. But it won't be good enough. Uh, I don't know exactly. Bye, Ron. I don't know exactly what that means, but it won't be good enough. But for sure, if you change your thought, that is going to be the key to changing the result there. So the criteria is that we are looking not primarily for the best writers or for people who have their idea figured out, but for people who are most committed to making a difference, to having a business, growing that business, and to funding their movement. Kat actually knows the house. Wow, that's awesome. It's a pretty amazing place. Rolling enrollment. If it's full, do you start later? Just a little confused. The 9 weeks. No, we just won't. There won't be a spot for you. There's not a later. So, Ash, I'm not 100% sure on what you're getting at. But yeah, there's not a start date when we talk. If there's an opening in the program and you're a fit for it, then I will make you an offer. So, not 100% sure on that. Other questions that you guys have? I'm just going back and looking for questions. Do you recommend people write their books or record them from an outline? Eugenia, great question. I recommend both. Some people are better than others, but I would say 90% of our authors end up writing their book. I do explain the how to talk a book approach, and I did my second book by talking it. But I find most people are more comfortable actually recording their book, also writing their book from an outline rather than recording it. If you know you're going to be good at that, for sure we can do it. And I do include a training on it in the program. Yes, do we make money first to help pay for the $14,000 investment? Yeah, that's why most people, if you're not awesome at making money, making the investment to join this program is great because you will get that investment paid back. Hopefully during the 9 weeks you're in the program. That's my goal. Do you work with many people from the UK? I do, Pamela. My husband is from Bristol. He's not really from Bristol. He's from Weston-super-Mare, but I don't like to admit that. So I say Bristol, but I just admitted it. About 20% of our clients are from the UK. In fact, we are in Scotland right now, and we just had several of our Scottish clients here, which is amazing. I didn't realize we had that many Scottish clients, but we do. So that was fun. And so, Cynthia, you got to work on your thoughts, mama. That is definitely not going to work it. So how can you generate 14K? There is a way to do it, I promise you. And learning how to hustle and figure that out is going to be much more important than just writing a book. So I believe in you. The answer is inside you. Pamela understood my British humor. Oh, that's right. We talked about the fact that you were right around the corner. Yeah, I'm in Cove, nuclear submarine land. Malika, I do remember you. I'm super excited. And I remember you're starting a new job. I am really, really glad to see you here. And hopefully you got a ton of value from today's event. Eugenia, I'm ambivalent about what to write. That is perfect. Almost everybody who comes in with an idea for their book, I change it almost instantly. I work with emotional eating and with women and couples in relationships very successfully. How do I get clear on my ideal client? You do my program. That is what we spend the most time on. Mwah, Jessica, good to see you. Jessica is pivotal in my life because I laid on her kyanite rocks in Prospect, Virginia. If you ever find yourself in Prospect, Virginia, you have to find Jessica. She's incredible. I am super excited about a book for you someday and coming to get a big piece of kyanite from you very soon. 55 population in estate planning. Yes, Julia, I love that. One of our most successful books is called Ready to Pull the Retirement Trigger. It's by Mary Stirk. You can check that out. She has made a huge impact with that book. It is in bookstores. It's selling really well. She's increased her business by about 20%, but she has an 8-figure business. So 20% is actually a lot. And a big piece of it is on estate planning. Very hot topic. Where do people get their clients before the book? Their own community or network, the Author's Way network. Both of those, yes, Phila. And we have about 100 other things that I teach as well. So newspaper ads was one that we talked about today. But there are lots and lots of ways that people get their clients. Somebody mentioned, I think, cafes, flyers in cafes is another way. Malika, thank you. I've come across many mentors since then, but no one beats you. I definitely have a unique style, and some people resonate with it and some people don't. Very funny. We do have cats in the castle, but they are not on the ballroom level. And so also the live events are not required to attend. We also have video streaming versions of them. Bonnie, you will need to apply again. Bonnie, I hope you're not the person who sent me the mean hate mail about my necklace being crooked. Did you see that? Somebody named Bonnie sent me a letter saying, your video isn't very good, your necklace is crooked. If that was you, you don't need to apply again. That's like the meanest letter. It made me cry. I'm hoping you are not that lady. But yes, you need to apply when you are ready to make the investment. There's definitely not a reason to apply until you are ready to make the investment. So that definitely shares that. So fantastic. Other questions that you guys have? I know we had some technical challenges at the beginning. If anybody feels like they missed anything, any questions you want to ask? If not, we will call it a wrap. And if you did miss pieces of this, I suspect I am going to offer it again because we had some technical challenges, but I really wanted to get this training to you guys as soon as possible. Do you lay out and publish the book? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If you are self-publishing, you will do that, but I will teach you how. And then for some people, they make other publishing decisions. So generally, you're going to do it, but it's super easy, and we have templates, and we all do it together when we're at the castle. Michael says, who are your clientele? All coaches, counselors, and consultants, others. Yeah, it really varies. We have a lot of hypnotists, EFT practitioners, healers, Reiki practitioners, shaman, therapists, doctors. Definitely have a lot of doctors, a couple dentists, coaches, consultants, business consultants, professional speakers, motivational speakers, and some other things too I'm not thinking of right now. Midwives, doulas, Ash. So all the authors are at different stages in the 9 weeks. Yeah, there's not a unified start date. You just have 9 weeks of work to complete. Yeah, the authors are at different stages. We open up 3 to 4 slots a week, depending on what my capacity is to get you onboarded. And so there's a different number of slots available all the time. It's usually somewhere between 2 and 5, depending on how many people are coming through referrals. So, but Ash, I'm curious about why that matters to you. The point is, for you, you would start immediately and you would have 9 weeks of work. So I'm not 100% sure what you're getting at. Animal-related authors, lots and lots of animal-related authors. We had an amazing woman named Kim who just came in and did a book about imperial Shih Tzus, and she is a dog breeder. We've also had a couple of animal mediums that have come through the program. A couple of people who have written about horsework or equus coaching. A while ago, you said you have a list of the professions of folks you wanted to work with. I'm a medical herbalist, and that wasn't on the list. Does your wish list still apply? Pamela, those are things that we're seeing selling a lot. And so I'm always looking for books that I know are going to be easy to market. But medical herbalist is definitely right in our sweet spot. And so I would definitely be comfortable with your application. Scientist, engineer, bringing spirit to merge. Yeah, so we have a physics professor who did a book on the connection between spirituality and physics. Lots of holistic health coaches. I would say about probably 30 to 40% of our authors are holistic health coaches. A lot of Institute of Integrative Nutrition, IIN coaches. That's probably one of our top certifications that people have. So that definitely makes sense. And thanks so much for the session. You're welcome, Julia. Will Difference Press publish my book? It just depends on if you self-publish. That really makes the difference. This is Pat. Hi, Pat. Mwah. I have a pretty successful solo business. I know you do. And I'm wondering if I can parlay that into helping people who wouldn't otherwise be able to work with me. If it's the Pat, I know your solo business is graphic design, but maybe your solo business changed. Pat, tell me what you're thinking of. For sure, you could parlay a book into helping people. I just wasn't sure what you mean by who wouldn't otherwise be able to work with me. Tell me more about what you mean by that, and I will see if I can answer the question. Where can we see the books or authors? I'm going to ask my producer to post it, but if you go to, not surprisingly, theauthorincubator.com, you will find the library and you will see all of our authors. Brand identity for new business owners. So we did an amazing book for an author who, why am I blanking on the name of her book? Smarty Pants Branding. Smarty Pants Branding. I think that was the name. Branding for Smarty Pants. That's what it was. And so her book, oh, did you mean to post that privately? You can post it to the full group. So Smarty Pants Branding, for sure, she helps people. But when you say people can't, like, it's much more expensive to work with her than to get the book. So, first of all, Pat, I'm 100% sure you're not charging enough, and I'm 100% sure your packages aren't right to really make a difference for people. So I would probably start by saying, let's create a package where you can have fewer clients and make a bigger difference for them, and then just use the book to generate more revenue. So with a business like Brand Identity, if you want to get to $1 million, it's relatively easy to get like 10 clients, maybe even 5 clients a month that are in the right kind of program. So you can have a 7-figure business, you can hire more people, you can build your business. But if you're like thinking, oh, I'm going to do a book so I can sell cheaper things, I find that doesn't work because it'll actually undermine your current business. And then on top of undermining your current business, it's just going to create a whole lot more busy work. So I'd rather just streamline your business and let's figure out how much money you want to make and write a book that's going to make you that much money and give you more free time because I know you have kids and a wife who likes your attention and all that good stuff. Janelle, The Author's Way sounds great. Mwah. Judith, thank you so much. It was really interesting and helpful class. I'm so glad you got value. Pat liked my joke about his wife. Mwah. Okay. Very cool. I think we're getting there on questions and we are starting to catch up. I still have 15 minutes set aside. So if people do have other questions, I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, we will send you a follow-up email with the link again to apply. Should you be interested? And if this is not a fit for you, make sure you remember those 3 secrets that we reviewed, because the truth is, if you are going to make a difference with a book, part of it has to do with the book. But to get clients begging to work with you, the number one most important thing is really those 3 secrets I shared, which is understanding the publishing industry does not want you to succeed. You have to know the difference between your desire to write a book and your desire to write a book. And you have to understand that you must become the person who your ideal reader would love to hire. So thanks to all of you for hanging out, for putting up with my technical problems from Scotland. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. Good luck with your books and have an amazing night. Oh, I'm seeing a couple more questions. I was just about to hang up. How about a professional composer with a veteran in the music business? Unique method. We've done sound healing books. Yep, we've done sound healing, Mel. And Misty. please make sure, Misty, I really want you to check out a book called Widowed by Joanne Philomena. Widowed by Joanne Philomena. And I would actually call her. She is one of the people that I featured earlier who made that 10K in 2 weeks. First of all, she can tell you all about me, but she is an amazing resource for recently widowed men and women. She does work with men as well. She is a widow coach. She has Widowcast podcast. And Elia, I will see you tomorrow. And so please check out Joanne. I'm sure if you reach out to her, she would be happy to have a conversation with you. But I really think, certainly, I think our program could help. She was obviously in a similar situation to you, but I also think talking to her might be helpful for you. Nisha, I did not see your question. Can you ask it again, Nisha? I'm going back. I want to be a thought leader on in-demand skills that pay the bills in the 21st century. No experience in this field. I see it. I don't see a question, Nisha. Was there a question? No me see question. I just saw a statement. I saw a statement that I didn't have anything to contribute to, so I did not read the statement out loud. Did you just want me to read it out loud? If you have a question related to that, Nisha, let me know. I cannot read your mind. There must be more going on in your head. But I like that skills that pay the bills kind of rhymes. Okay, Kathy says, we spoke a while back as I was recovering from my brain injury. I totally remember you. Absolutely. I've moved on with my mindfulness and emotional intelligence coaching. My practices have helped me to recover to a great degree. Shall we talk again? Oh, I'm so excited to hear this update. Kathy, I'm sending you so much love. Yeah, if you feel like, I would love to talk to you again. I'm totally honest with you guys when we talk. And if I don't feel like you're at a point where I can help you, and honestly, Misty, I'm a little worried about that with you. If your husband passing is fresh, sometimes I like people. Kathy had a brain injury that I thought was like a little bit too fresh to actually write a book about. Your husband passing may also be like that. And so I like to make sure people are writing on books that they've had time to develop an expertise in. So yeah, Kathy, it sounds like it is a good time to reconnect. That is amazing news. I'm so glad you're doing well. Kat says, how about a coach specializing in what my daughter calls how to escape when there's no way out? That is too vague in general, but I will teach you how to turn that into something marketable. Oh, Nisha wrote an actual question. I want to be the thought leader on 21st century skills, but I don't have a background in this. No, no. If you are not an expert in the thing you want to write a book about, then I would say go become an expert on the thing you want to be a book about. Can your program help me hone in on my target audience and offer that actually meets a real need? Nisha, what I can help you do is figure out what your zone of genius is. And I am sure we can come up with an offer that would help people, but we're not going to invent a new skill because that's not your zone of genius. Your zone of genius is the thing you've been doing automatically since you're about 7 or 12 years old. So we don't have to go find some new thing that other people should write a book on. There's something that you should write a book on. It's something people already come to you for help with. And if you aren't already an expert, if you don't have an area that you've helped multiple people, that probably means that you aren't a fit for the program. So Michael was asking earlier about criteria that I had for what we're looking for. What I really want is somebody who has helped at least 3 people with the exact problem that they want to write their book about. So whether you're speaking or coaching or consulting or fundraising, whatever that is, individual clients versus groups. Groups are more leveraged, but if you haven't already sold the product, then I have people start with individual clients. Once you get to 100K in revenue, I have pretty much everybody switch to groups unless it doesn't fit with their specialty. Some people are working in relationships or sexual abuse or something like that. And so those people stay individual usually, not always, but often. But our clients work individual, groups, live, in person, over Zoom. Karen says 7 or 12 years old. Yeah, those are the two most common things that I hear from people. It's not always the case. Some people develop their expertise later, but usually there is some sign of it that we can find. We're not going to invent something new. If you've never, I don't know, changed oil on a car, we're not going to write a book about how to change oil in a car. If you've been changing oil in a car for as long as you can remember, then that might be your book. So Ashley says, I'm in the wellness space and I'd like to write something about the nutrition questions that our patients ask us a lot about. Is it okay if the topic isn't a story? Yes, it's okay if the topic isn't a story, but if you literally write something about nutrition questions our patients ask us a lot, you won't get new clients. So if your goal is to just have an FAQ, I would say go write up an FAQ right now. Just put up a sign up at the front desk at your wellness space and have people write a question down on the piece of paper. And then every weekend when you get a free hour or two, you can answer the questions and then type them out in Word and print them out and staple them and leave them at the front desk. And then you will have the questions your patients ask answered. But if you want to grow your business, Ashley, there's a much more effective way we can do than just doing a Q&A from your patients. So it doesn't have to be a story, though, by any means. Misty says his passing was last year. I am so sorry. That totally sucks. But telling my story is a gift to create change. Beautiful. I've been doing this since 5th grade. I love it, Misty. Yeah, definitely check out that book. And we also have another book called Grief Unveiled that came out on June 29th by Sarah Nannon. Absolutely stunning book. Her husband died very young. I want to say in his 30s, but it may have been in his 20s. And she has a beautiful story about grieving his passing. Kat says, mine's figuring out how to get out of rock bottom awful situations, like bouncing back to dream jobs and situations. I've done it for decades and I'm helping individuals do the same, but I need a wider reach. Probably need a narrower reach, Kat. And as long as we focus on rock bottom jobs and something specific like that, then I can tell you how to generate $10,000 to $30,000 a month from that, probably even $50,000 a month. Misty says, creating stories or sharing stories which create permanent change. I love that. 5th grade was pivotal for me too, Misty. I love it. So Kat, yeah, love that topic, but most people make the critical mistake of thinking they need a wider reach when generally they need a narrower reach. So I encourage you to remember that picture that I posted that generated $250,000. I want you in the next 6 months to have a $250,000 picture that has 17 people in it that you have booked $250,000 in revenue with. So I want you to go much narrower and let's just find the 17 people that can generate $250,000 for you in 6 months rather than thinking about how to reach as many people as possible and make $10 a book from them. Because that is not the path to funding your movement, I can assure you. And that is, of course, what publishers don't want you to know. All right, you guys. Any other question? I want my book to be titled Living Painful Experiences Triumphantly. Could you write it for me, Pete, please? No, I will not write it for you. And also, if you title it that, you will sell no copies, make no difference, and get no clients. So I recommend against doing that. And for sure, I'm not going to write it for you. I was a ghostwriter for 17 years, though. If you do the program, you will write the program. You will write the book. It will be super easy to write. Generally takes about 24 hours to write a book. We have many clients do it in 2 or 3 days. Writing the book is not the hard part. The title comes at the end. It does not come at the beginning for a very specific reason. And we know the process that I have works. I do help with titles. That is a big part of the program, but it definitely does not happen at the beginning. It doesn't happen until you've sold at least a few copies, so we know exactly what the problem and dream come true in the ideal reader's words are. Michael says, I want to assist those who are or will be awakening to their deepest divine truth. It's tough because no one can bring one into it. For sure, I know how we can get there, Michael, but it's going to be a sideways path. We have definitely written lots and lots of books about awakening. We have helped a lot of readers find coaches and mentors and spiritual guides. But you can't face this one head on. We got to take it from the side. And so obviously I need to learn a lot more about you and your work to get there. Quisa thinks I was kidding. Quisiwa? Anyway, something like that. Quisiwa. Anyway, Quisiwa thinks I was kidding, but no, really. I'm totally serious. And I will always be super honest with you. I love that Kathy was here because it is so um, uh, it's so great for you to see how often we turn people away. About 80% of our applicants, we tell them now is not the right time for them. And it's because they really haven't made a true commitment to making a difference. The reason our success rate is so high is that we are so selective about how we work or who we work with. I was going to say how we work with. And so, like people who are always looking for excuses to not finish will always find them. But if you go back to that slide that I talked about, some of the things our clients have faced, the death of parents, kids in college, falling in love, losing their jobs, having their car break down. That's happened. We've had somebody total his car. That was actually Amari, totaled his car and dropped his cell phone, I think, in the toilet or something, the exact same week of his book launch. Like that stuff is going to come up. We've had 2 clients that were homeless. So lots of our clients have very good reasons. Jen was in cancer treatments and she had 2 little kids she wanted to spend time with. Everybody has a great reason not to finish their book. We only work with people who are committed to doing it despite all those reasons. The description of my book idea, Kelly, for that, I would just go ahead and write up whatever you're thinking. You can put in multiple ideas there. You could just use that space to tell me more about you and who you want to make a difference for. You could say, I'm not sure exactly what my book idea is, but I know this is who I want to make a difference for. These are the topics that I'm most interested in. I'm excited you're filling out an application, Kelly. So that is my biggest message to you in the last 30 seconds. Sneak in a question if you have one. And the big thing I want to share with you all is that there will always be great reasons to make excuses. There will always be a reason to not write your book. There will always be a reason for that. And so I want you to find a reason to make a difference with your book. I want you to find a reason to step up and be the person who makes a difference. That's it. We ran out of time, everybody. Thank you all for being here.